Saints, Greg Jennings around the corner, Patriots, Packers. Man, Sunday, depending on what coast you live on or where you live, at about 1 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock Eastern, you got Rams, Saints, and you're going to have Patriots, Packers. It's just going to be an incredible night of NFL football. A couple of big college football games tomorrow. We'll talk about that next hour. Ben Shapiro's a political pundit. He's a conservative. He has a great line. He said, I don't care if my facts get in the way of your feelings. I think it's a funny line, and it's accurate. I'm going to say something, and I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings, but it's a fact. Hugh Jackson came out yesterday and did some talking, and he talked about he was fired, and he said in Cleveland, quote, we passed on 3 franchise quarterbacks in my first 2 years, Wentz, Watson, and Mahomes. There's no way that should have happened. You do not pass on a potential franchise quarterback. You just don't know what he's going to be in the future. Here's the facts. I was told last year and the year before that Hugh Jackson did want Wentz, and he did want Patrick Mahomes. He wanted Wentz and Deshaun Watson. I can't, through a source, verify that he wanted Patrick Mahomes. That I don't know. But 2 people I trust before the draft told me Hugh Jackson wants Wentz. Cleveland passed. Hugh Jackson wanted Deshaun Watson, and Cleveland passed. I'm sorry if you don't like Hugh. I'm sorry if you're a Brown fan and you think this was the right move. That's a fact. Hugh Jackson wanted Wentz and would not have gone 0-16 with Wentz, and he wanted Deshaun Watson. I cannot, through my sources, verify the Mahomes thing. He could be telling the truth. I just can't prove it. But the other ones, and I said it on the air with Wentz a couple years ago, Hugh Jackson wanted him. He also said this, and again, sorry if this hurts your feelings. You'll have to put down the pom-poms if you live in Ohio. Did you hear what he said about Baker Mayfield? He said, I think Baker Mayfield's going to be a sensational player if they surround him with the right people, but they've got to give him help and run a scheme suited to his skill set. Now, on its surface, it doesn't seem like much, but there are some key words here that nobody is mentioning. I think he's going to be sensational if they surround him with the right people, give him help to run a scheme suited to his skill set. Nobody says that about Tom Hanks or DiCaprio. You know, I think if we give Tom this role, if we get him the right people and, we get him help so it's suited to it. Tom Hanks is a movie star. He makes it work. Nobody ever said that about Carson Wentz, John Elway, Andrew Luck. They're ballers. They look and play like number 1 picks. If you walked in to a general manager as a regional scout and you tried to make an argument for a number 1 pick, you would be laughed out of a room if you said, listen, I think this kid, if we surround him with the right people and we do a scheme suited to his skill set, could be really good. You know what you're describing? A 4th-round pick, a 3rd-round pick. Hugh Jackson yesterday told the truth, is that he wanted Wentz and Deshaun Watson, and they wouldn't listen to him. And from those words, he is telling you exactly the truth, what I was told from various scouts on Baker. It's a lot of, I think, if, right people, help, skill, suited to certain things. That is not a number 1 pick. I'll give Ben Shapiro credit again. Sorry if my facts hurt your feelings, but Hugh's right. But in the culture we live in America in 2018, it's much easier to go to the interweb, Twitter, Instagram, and bash the unemployed and hammer the recently fired and crush those who are unpopular. Today, Hugh Jackson is an easy guy to take the anvil out on. Fired, bitter, and accurate in all his comments. Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Yeah, they went with Myles Garrett and Corey Coleman.
Those were just different choices.
No, I mean, Myles Garrett is a very good player, but it's just like your rake analogy. Your wife sends you to the store to get milk and eggs, and you come back with a rake.
I say it's great value.
It's a beautiful rake. It's the best rake available.
But we need milk and eggs, and they needed a quarterback.
Rakes and it bags the leaves simultaneously, but it's just not what we need right now.
Yeah.
All right, so the NFL's offensive explosion through the first half of the season has brought us almost video game numbers. However, some believe this high-flying brand of football is reversible, and one of those people is Todd Bowles, who told the New York Daily News it'll change back. It'll recycle itself. Probably not in my coaching career, but it will recycle itself. It only takes one team to have success doing that. It's a copycat league, so everyone will follow suit. Eventually, in the next 10 years, I expect that to go back.
You know, he's right. But what's going to happen, Joy, it won't go back summarily in the league for everybody. But what will happen is you will get a great running back who is just one of these Adrian Peterson kind of guys. By the way, this could be Gurley. And he's going to be on a right team, and they're going to win. And people are going to go, the running game. Now, I'm not saying the league's going to dictate based on rules.
Right.
But his point is, and he's Todd Bowles. That's why I say the best coach in the league with a losing record. His point is this league has always swung way too far in one direction and way too far in the other. And now we've gotten to the point where, running, who needs a... You watch the L.A. Rams this weekend? You know what the L.A. Rams are? They're a power running football team.
I've never bought into the idea that running backs are interchangeable, really. Although the Steelers kind of, we'll get to that in a second. But I mean, in general, though, if you have a running game, it only expands your offense. That makes your offense great.
Yes.
You're dynamic. You're able to run the ball and you're able to throw it. If you're a one-dimensional running or one-dimensional offense, then you're beatable.
Well,
that's so to me, the idea that the running game is dead doesn't really make any sense anyway. Yeah. But I think more to what people are going to push back on this is I don't think it's going to swing back as far as people getting sick of offense.
No, nor will quarterbacks lose value. But we will, by the way, the Redskins with Adrian Peterson lead their division. The Rams with Todd Gurley lead their division. The Saints with 2 running backs lead their division. Is that this league tends to swing too far either way. And by the way, if the Giants got the quarterback situation right, then we pay more attention to Saquon Barkley. But right now we're ignoring him because the quarterback's wrong. You still have to get the quarterback right. It's job number one. But let me tell you something. Don't kid yourself. If Big Ben didn't have Connor or Le'Veon Bell, he would be under siege.
Yeah, that's more to my point. Like I don't think that the level of scoring is something that's going to swing back. People have already embraced and shown that this is the way to go. But having a running game is important. And to his point, I think people are going to now possibly overvalue receivers. And then that's when it's going to become a
get burned.
Yes, because somebody's going to miss on the next great, the next Adrian Peterson, the next Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, whatever have you, and then that's going to swing back. Yeah. That position, I think, is what is going to swing. So it's time for The Real Deal, brought to you by Carl's Jr. and Hardee's. And this week's matchup between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady is The Real Deal. Everyone's very excited. We've been talking about it all week. Although I think the game has a little bit of lopsidedness based off of the Packers' loss last week, but it's still an exciting matchup. And you know who else is excited? Brett Favre.
This is an epic matchup. But, from a fan standpoint, this is what you look forward to seeing. Bird and Magic Johnson. A great pitcher against a great hitter. This is one of those games that, the ratings will be sky high, and rightfully so. Both quarterbacks are as good as any that's ever played the game, and totally different in styles. I don't know who I give the nod to or the advantage to. Both teams, I'm sure, and both fan bases love their chances.
I'm going to give the nod to the Patriots in this spot, but this is the second, and it could be the last meeting of Rodgers and Brady.
It feels like it.
Well, unless they play in a Super Bowl, they won't play again until 2022 in Green Bay, when Brady would be 45 and Rodgers would be 39 or 40, depending on when the game is played in that year.
I wonder who will be in the White House by then.
Yeah, you know what? It's anyone's guess at this point. It could be any of us. That's what's pretty crazy, though. Like this, it's a little bit of a, Pacquiao Mayweather. Thankfully we got this while they're in their prime.
Yeah, I was driving to work this morning just thinking about stuff, and I'm like, this is probably it. This is probably the last time we see the Ali Frazier of their generation. This is it. We got to see Manning and Brady a lot.
To me, that's why the way the game ended with the Rams last week is kind of more of a. It just stings a little bit extra. Like you'd love to see Aaron Rodgers in that 2-minute drill, even if they had lost Like you'd love to have seen that and then like ride into this week. And now I just feel like the momentum is with the Patriots. But everyone's going to be watching.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And finally, Baltimore's defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, is not impressed with Le'Veon Bell's tactic to become a high roller. He took some digs at Bell yesterday when he was asked about the team's preparation to face the Steelers offense without Le'Veon.
I think it's like since 2015, if you look at their stats, there's a lot of stats in different categories that the Steelers are actually better without him. That they're better in those categories since 2015 without Le'Veon, so that might be why he's riding a jet ski down in Miami right now. I don't know.
That's funny.
Gratuitous jab, but if you look at the numbers that he's talking about, he's kind of right. Now, I still don't believe that they're necessarily better without Le'Veon. I think James Conner's done an amazing job, obviously, and he's earned himself some money. And if Le'Veon is not there next year, he'll likely be the starter. But I just think Le'Veon is it's kind of like what happened with Kawhi Leonard. Like everyone kind of forgot because he wasn't around. And obviously he's not injured, but he's just not there. It's like out of sight, out of mind. Le'Veon Bell is
great.
One or two top running backs in the league.
But there is something to be said here, Joy, and I think it's a real thing. And it what I'm about to say works in all businesses. When you do work with, I would call, higher maintenance stars, there are times you do feel a pressure to feed them constantly. Feed Odell Beckham.
Sure, yeah.